Okay, so today we're talking about perimeter, circumference, and area. Those are three things that you need to know. Um, Notice that the perimeter is what happens when we add up all the sides of a particular shape. But since a circle doesn't have sides, they give the perimeter for a circle a fancy name, and they call that the circumference. All right. So perimeter and circumference basically means what is the length of the side of the shape. So like for a rectangle, we want to find if what happens when we add all this up. All right. For a square, what happens when we add up all the sides? For the circle, what is the distance around the circle? If you were walking on that circle, on the outer rim of that circle, what is that distance? We're calling that the circumference. All right. Now the area is it's what kind of how much space do we have within this shape? All right. The area is sort of like this little cross-hatched section right here. It's the how much space is within these shapes. This would be the area for the square, and inside the circle, how much space is in there. All right. So I have three different shapes. You've probably seen this before in another math class, but I'll hit it again just to be sure. We have a rectangle, and remember a rectangle, the definition of a rectangle is basically it's a shape that has the opposite sides are equal. So this side is equal to this side, and then this side is equal to this side. We call that a rectangle. The one side we're going to call W for width, and the other side we'll call L for length. And then the area of that rectangle, to find the area, all you do is multiply the length of the rectangle times the width, and that will give you the surface area of that rectangle. To find the perimeter, we add up all the sides. So I have this formula down here, but where it came from is basically to find the perimeter, we'll call it P, we're adding up the sides. So we start here and we walk around the shape. We go length W, then we walk across length L, but to get back, we have to go back up another W. And then to get back to where we started, we'll walk another L. So what we have here, if we add up and collect these like terms, we have 2W plus 2L. And then as you remember from Algebra 1, we can factor out a 2 here if we want to, and that's where this formula is coming from. 2 times W plus L, or L plus W, doesn't matter which order if you're adding. So that's where the formula comes from. So basically, if you want to find the perimeter, you can basically add up all the sides, that's the long way, or you can use this formula, 2 times L plus W. So add up L and W, multiply that by 2, and that will be your perimeter. For a square is just a special shape where all the sides are equal. So this is L, 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 and L. All these sides are going to be the same length. A rectangle, a square is a special type of rectangle, okay? But we'll learn more about that later. To find the area of a square, basically we multiply two sides together, L times L, which gives us L squared. And then the perimeter, if you want to do it the long way, it's L plus L plus L plus L. And 4 L's, you can just take L and multiply it by 4. So that's where that formula comes from. So for those two, if you want to remember, if you don't want to remember a formula, just remember multiply length times width to get the area for both the rectangle and the square. The length is equal to the width. So just take and multiply two sides together. To find the perimeters, you just add up all the sides. Okay. Now a circle, special type of shape. A circle basically, here's the circle, and now we've got two circles here. If the exact center of this circle is right here at this point, and if we extend from that center of the circle to the edge of the circle, we have what's called the radius of the circle. Okay, the radius is sort of like that half length there. And then if you go through the center of the circle from side to side, that length there is called D, or the diameter. Okay, and we use those basically to establish formulas for area and then circumference. So for the area of a circle, we have pi times r squared, and that's just a formula they've worked out. And then to find the circumference, the distance around the circle, you can either use pi d, or you can do 2 pi r. Okay, so you have choices there. If they give you the radius, use the radius 2 pi r. Or if they give you the diameter, basically you can just say, well, diameter divided by 2 is going to be the radius. So if you divide the diameter by 2 and then plug it in 2 pi r, that'll work. Or you can just remember that it's pi d. Okay, so that's some things that you need to copy into your notebook. We'll do some examples in the next video.